Saudi Arabia is about to change the world. And I'm not talking about a few shiny new buildings or roads. We're talking about $500 billion mega cities, futuristic technologies, and entire coastlines turned into luxury playgrounds. But here's the big question. Can Saudi Arabia pull it off? Or will these ambitious projects be a massive failure that shakes the global economy? Right now, Saudi Arabia is building what could be the most transformative developments of the 21st century. And some of these projects are going to leave you speechless. From Neom, the world's first fully automated city, to a $10 billion entertainment hub bigger than anything you've seen, Saudi Arabia is betting everything on its future. But there's a catch. These aren't just big ideas, they're massive, high-risk, high-reward ventures. So what's the reality behind these projects? How will they impact the world and your life if they succeed? Stick around because we're diving into the mind-blowing details you won't find anywhere else.
The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. MBS announced the futuristic megacity project called Neom back in 2017. To simplify what Neom would look like, he reached into his pocket and pulled out two mobile phones, an old phone and another newer smartphone.
This is what we're going to achieve in Neom.
He's creating a city at the cost of hundreds of billions of dollars where there is no city, no habitation of any size at all.
He really wants Neom to be something that hasn't existed in the world before. I think that's very important to him, that this is not modeled on anything else, even though other people might point out, it has similarities to other models. He really wants this to be like something brand new and completely innovative and completely, out of the box and something that the world has never seen before and that he has brought into existence.
Now you might be asking yourself, why are these projects so important? What makes them stand out compared to other mega projects around the world? Well, Saudi Arabia is on a mission to completely transform its economy, and the stakes are higher than ever. The country is working hard to move away from oil dependence and create a more sustainable, tech-driven future. But it's not all smooth sailing. These massive projects come with their own set of challenges: financial risks, environmental concerns, and the pressure to meet deadlines. What happens if they fail? What's at risk if they don't succeed? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Let's kick things off by diving into some of the most ambitious projects Saudi Arabia is currently working on. Neom, the most talked about of them all, is an audacious $500 billion megacity that promises to revolutionize the very concept of urban living. But Neom isn't just any city. It's a bold vision for the future. Picture this. A city designed entirely from scratch, built with cutting-edge technologies, zero carbon emissions, and complete automation. It's not just about high-tech buildings. It's about rethinking how cities function, how people live, and how they interact with the environment. What would a city look like if it had no cars? What if you could travel the entire city in minutes without a single traffic jam? Neom is about to answer these questions. One of the most futuristic features of Neom is the Line, a 170-kilometer-long linear city that will stretch across the desert. There are no streets, no cars, no traffic lights. Instead, there will be two parallel skyscrapers connected by a series of high-speed trains, all designed to ensure that residents and workers can get anywhere in just 20 minutes. It's a city where everything is within walking distance and everything runs on clean, renewable energy. Impossible? Not according to Saudi Arabia. They're pushing full steam ahead with this project, aiming to have it ready by 2039. But with an investment of $500 billion and a construction timeline this aggressive, the risks are massive. The city will be built in the middle of the desert, where temperatures soar above 50 degrees Celsius in the summer months. The challenges of building a city like this in such a harsh environment are huge. Will the advanced technologies and materials that are supposed to power this city hold up under extreme heat? And can the government meet the ambitious 2039 deadline, especially with global inflation and supply chain disruptions? Another massive project making waves is Qiddiya, which is being built just outside Riyadh as the country's premier entertainment destination. Qiddiya is not just a theme park. It's a $10 billion, 334-square-kilometer entertainment complex that will include everything from world-class amusement parks, sports venues, and cultural centers to resorts, theaters, and even a Formula One racetrack. Think of it like a combination of Disney World, Las Vegas, and the Olympics, all rolled into one. Saudi Arabia is betting that Qiddiya will become a major global tourism magnet, attracting not just regional visitors, but people from all over the world. But here's the question. How will Saudi Arabia compete with global giants like Disney, Universal Studios, and even Dubai's tourism industry? The entertainment industry is cutthroat, and Qiddiya will face competition from already established world-class destinations. Can Saudi Arabia create something truly unique that will draw tourists away from traditional vacation spots? Then there's the Red Sea Project, another massive undertaking designed to turn the pristine coastline along the Red Sea into a luxurious, ultra-high-end tourism resort. The project spans over 28,000 square kilometers and is meant to include a series of islands, resorts, marinas, and ecotourism attractions. The goal? To attract wealthy international tourists looking for an exclusive, sustainable vacation destination. The project will also focus heavily on preserving the natural beauty of the Red Sea's marine ecosystem, including coral reefs and marine wildlife. But here's the catch. Can Saudi Arabia balance the need for high-end luxury tourism with the environmental concerns that come with developing such a sensitive area? With growing awareness about the ecological impact of large-scale tourism developments, the Red Sea project could face major scrutiny if it's not handled carefully. Will Saudi Arabia be able to walk the fine line between growth and environmental sustainability? Or could this project cause irreversible damage to the region's unique biodiversity? And let's not forget about Diriyah Gate, a $17 billion project aimed at turning the historic area of Diriyah in Riyadh into a luxury cultural and heritage district. Diriyah is known as the birthplace of the Saudi state, and the project will aim to blend history and modernity by transforming the area into a world-class destination for tourists interested in Saudi Arabia's rich heritage. The plan includes everything from luxury hotels and high-end restaurants to museums, art galleries, and performance venues. However, there's a challenge here. How can a city maintain its historical authenticity while competing with the flashy modernity of Dubai and Abu Dhabi? Can Diriyah retain its historical charm while embracing a more cosmopolitan future? The area is already a UNESCO World Heritage Site, so the project must balance modernization with cultural preservation, which isn't always easy. Will Diriyah succeed in drawing high-end international tourists while still staying true to its roots? There's more. How about the King Salman International Complex for Maritime Industries and Services, located in Ras Al Khair? With a $5.2 billion investment, this complex is set to become a major force in Saudi Arabia's maritime sector. Imagine a state-of-the-art facility dedicated to shipbuilding, offshore rigs, and maritime services. This is more than just a port. It's a complete reimagining of Saudi Arabia's position in the global maritime industry. The goal is clear: reduce dependence on imports and create thousands of local jobs. However, the competition in this sector is fierce, with well-established maritime hubs like Singapore and Rotterdam already leading the charge. So, what are the chances of Saudi Arabia pulling this off? With global shipping facing disruptions and environmental pressures, will the King Salman complex be able to withstand the waves? Speaking of reimagining Saudi Arabia, have you heard of Al Faisaliah City? This $10 billion, 35 square kilometer development is located just outside the eastern province, and it's aimed at creating an entirely new economic and cultural hub. It's not just a new neighborhood, it's a city that's designed to offer everything its residents need. From high-end residential spaces and bustling commercial districts to entertainment centers and schools, Al Faisaliah is being designed as a self-sustaining urban community. The big question is, can Al Faisaliah rise to the challenge and compete with other mega projects like Neom and Qiddiya? What will make this city stand out in a country already home to so many monumental developments? And let's not forget about one of the biggest transportation projects on the horizon: the King Abdulaziz International Airport expansion in Jeddah. This $7.2 billion upgrade will transform the airport into one of the largest and most modern aviation hubs in the Middle East. With a target capacity of 80 million passengers per year, this ambitious expansion aims to position Saudi Arabia as the go-to travel destination for both business and leisure. But here's the catch: air travel has been in a bit of a slump due to factors like global uncertainties and environmental concerns. With the aviation industry undergoing massive changes, will Jeddah's airport expansion hit the ground running, or will it face delays and setbacks? How will Saudi Arabia cope with the evolving dynamics of air travel? And will Jeddah truly become the region's aviation gateway? And we can't forget the Saudi Green Initiative, one of the most ambitious environmental projects in the kingdom. The goal? To plant a staggering 10 billion trees across the country over the next several decades. Think about it, 10 billion. This massive effort will help combat desertification, improve air quality, and create a more sustainable future for Saudi Arabia. However, one major question remains. Can trees actually thrive in one of the driest places on Earth? How will Saudi Arabia overcome the harsh climate and terrain to make this environmental initiative a success? The kingdom's bold step into sustainability is certainly something to keep an eye on. So here's the big question. What do all of these mega projects have in common? They're not just individual feats of engineering, architecture, or tourism. They're all part of Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030, a bold transformative plan launched by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman to reimagine the entire future of the kingdom. The goal? To modernize the country, diversify its economy, and reduce its heavy reliance on oil, a move that could completely reshape the way the world sees Saudi Arabia. If successful, these projects will not only change Saudi Arabia, but they have the potential to influence the global economy, technological innovation, and the entire Middle East. Vision 2030 is Saudi Arabia's roadmap to a post-oil future, and these mega projects are the key to that transformation. This isn't just about building new cities or developing resorts. It's about creating an entirely new infrastructure that positions Saudi Arabia as a global leader in technology, sustainability, and innovation. But there's one huge catch. The stakes are incredibly high. Every single one of these projects represents billions of dollars in investments, and their success is crucial to the broader success of Vision 2030. If these projects fail, the economic consequences for Saudi Arabia could be catastrophic. The kingdom is betting on these ventures to fuel its economic growth for the next century, and any significant setbacks could trigger a massive downturn. So what does this mean for Saudi Arabia if these projects succeed? Well, the flip side is even more extraordinary. If the projects are successful, Saudi Arabia could see a complete economic and cultural renaissance, not just within the region, but on a global scale. They could become a magnet for international investment, tourism, and innovation, drawing attention from all corners of the world. Think about it. Saudi Arabia could transform from an oil-dependent state into a global hub for technology.
أنا أعتقد أن أوروبا الجديدة هي الشرق الأوسط.
A destination for luxury tourism and a leader in green energy solutions. The country could become a model for sustainable development and technological integration, paving the way for other nations to follow. But what's truly mind-blowing and honestly a little overwhelming is that Saudi Arabia isn't just trying to build new cities or massive resorts, they're trying to build the future itself. These projects aren't just about new buildings or attractions, they're about integrating next-generation technologies into the fabric of everyday life. Imagine a world where artificial intelligence is woven into every aspect of society, from automated traffic systems to AI-driven healthcare. Saudi Arabia is investing in the technology that will not only power these cities, but will shape how people live, work, and play in them. They're building cities that are completely sustainable, powered by renewable energy sources like solar and wind. They're constructing smart infrastructure that can automatically adjust to real-time data like traffic patterns and energy use. And they're embracing cutting-edge robotics to handle everything from transportation to healthcare. This is happening right now, not in some far-off distant future. The government is already in the process of designing and constructing fully automated cities with built-in artificial intelligence, where nearly every aspect of life will be streamlined and connected. The promise of a city where everything, from energy systems to public services, is intelligent, self-regulating, and sustainable is no longer just a dream. Neom's futuristic infrastructure is already being planned, and it's poised to be the first fully integrated smart city in the world. This is a bold statement about the country's intention to not just follow the global tech trends, but to lead them. So what does all of this mean for the average person, for you and me? How will all of this massive development impact our daily lives, even if we're not living in Saudi Arabia? The answer is actually simpler than you might think. Jobs, technology, and innovation are going to be the game changers here. These projects aren't just creating new buildings, they're creating whole new industries and job markets. We're talking about a job boom in sectors like tech development, engineering, renewable energy, and even AI programming. If these projects succeed, they'll spark an innovation explosion, not just in Saudi Arabia, but across the globe. For the average worker, this means new career opportunities and a chance to be part of something truly groundbreaking. Whether you're an engineer, a tech developer, a sustainability expert, or even someone with a creative background, Saudi Arabia's mega projects could open doors to some of the most cutting-edge careers of the next few decades. But the impact doesn't stop at jobs. This wave of development will also influence the technologies that we all use, even if we're not in the kingdom. The green energy technologies and smart systems being developed for cities like Neom could eventually become the global standard. The ideas being tested and refined in Saudi Arabia's desert cities might soon spread to cities around the world, transforming how we live and interact with the environment. The technology, infrastructure, and sustainable models developed through these megaprojects will have ripple effects far beyond Saudi Arabia's borders. If these projects succeed, they will serve as proof of concept that these futuristic ideas can work on a large scale, and will likely see countries around the world adopt these technologies. One of the most overlooked aspects of Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030 is the massive investment in artificial intelligence, automation, and smart city technologies. The kingdom aims to position itself as a global leader in AI, robotics, and smart city development, integrating cutting-edge innovations into daily life, governance, and business. AI in smart cities, a fully automated future? Saudi Arabia's megaprojects, particularly Neom, are designed to be driven by AI. The city's flagship region, The Line, promises a fully AI-powered urban environment where self-driving cars, robotic assistants, and smart infrastructure will handle everything from waste management to law enforcement. AI will optimize energy consumption, control traffic flow, and even predict maintenance needs before problems arise. Imagine a city where streetlights adjust brightness based on real-time activity, or where AI monitors air quality and automatically adjusts climate conditions to ensure comfort. But can AI truly replace traditional governance and urban management? And how will authorities handle privacy concerns and cybersecurity risks in such a data-driven city? Privacy concerns and cybersecurity risks. With AI being embedded in virtually every aspect of life in a smart city, privacy concerns become a paramount issue. A city like The Line will generate vast amounts of data from sensors, surveillance cameras, personal devices, and other sources. This real-time data could include sensitive information about individuals' locations, health conditions, behaviors, and more. The question then becomes, how will this data be protected, and who owns it? Will citizens have control over their own data, or will it be entirely in the hands of the government or corporations managing the city? In a fully automated environment, the potential for data breaches and cybersecurity threats is a significant risk. Hackers could target the systems controlling everything from traffic management to power grids, potentially leading to widespread disruption. Since smart cities will rely heavily on interconnected technologies, a single vulnerability in one area could have cascading effects across the entire city, compromising everything from infrastructure to personal safety. Ensuring robust cybersecurity measures will be essential to protect against these threats. Additionally, there is the matter of surveillance. With AI-powered cameras, sensors, and monitoring systems placed throughout the city, the level of surveillance could become extensive, raising concerns about citizens' right to privacy. While AI surveillance could be used to monitor and prevent crimes, the line between maintaining safety and infringing on personal freedoms will be a delicate one to walk. Moreover, data collected for efficiency purposes could be misused or manipulated, leading to a violation of citizens' rights. AI systems could potentially create a surveillance state, where every move is tracked and analyzed for efficiency or law enforcement purposes, sparking concerns over civil liberties and personal freedoms. AI in business and finance, transforming the economy. AI is also revolutionizing Saudi Arabia's economic landscape. The kingdom is investing heavily in AI-driven financial technologies, or fintech, to modernize banking, digital payments, and investment management. With initiatives like STC Pay and the rise of blockchain-backed digital transactions, Saudi Arabia aims to become a regional fintech hub. AI-powered financial systems can enhance fraud detection, streamline transactions, and even provide automated financial advisory services. However, the transition to AI-driven finance raises concerns about job displacement in traditional banking roles and the risk of algorithmic bias in automated decision-making. AI in healthcare. The rise of smart hospitals. Saudi Arabia is also integrating AI into healthcare, with plans for smart hospitals and AI-powered medical diagnostics. The goal is to provide faster, more accurate diagnoses using machine learning algorithms that analyze patient data. AI-powered robotic surgeons are expected to assist in complex procedures, and virtual health assistants could provide remote consultations for patients in remote areas. However, with these advancements come ethical concerns. How much should we trust AI in life or death medical decisions? And how will Saudi Arabia balance AI-driven efficiency with the human touch that patients often seek in healthcare? The vision for smart hospitals. Smart hospitals represent the intersection of healthcare and digital technology, where AI is used to automate processes, enhance decision-making, and ultimately improve patient care. These hospitals aim to seamlessly integrate machine learning, robotics, and telemedicine into everyday healthcare practices. The integration of AI in healthcare can revolutionize several aspects, from diagnosis to treatment, and offer greater efficiency in managing hospital operations. One of the key components of this vision is the AI-powered medical diagnostics system. Through sophisticated machine learning algorithms, AI can analyze vast amounts of patient data, such as medical history, lab results, and imaging scans, to provide faster, more accurate diagnoses. In some cases, AI systems have been shown to detect diseases like cancer, heart disease, and neurological conditions earlier than traditional methods, providing a significant advantage in treatment outcomes. These AI tools can also help doctors make informed decisions based on a comprehensive analysis of data, reducing the chance of human error. AI-driven robotic surgeons are another critical development. These robots, often equipped with highly precise instruments and guided by AI algorithms, can assist in performing complex surgeries. Robotic systems can minimize human error, increase the precision of surgical procedures, and potentially reduce recovery times for patients. These technologies are expected to be particularly useful in fields like orthopedics, cardiology, and neurosurgery, where delicate procedures demand extreme precision. By empowering surgeons with these advanced tools, the technology could lead to more successful surgeries and faster recovery rates. Additionally, virtual health assistants are poised to improve healthcare access, particularly for patients in remote or underserved areas. These AI-powered assistants can offer remote consultations, provide basic medical advice, schedule appointments, and guide patients through the healthcare system. The ability to have a virtual consultation without leaving one's home can be a game changer for rural populations or those with limited access to medical facilities. AI-driven chatbots and virtual assistants can address routine healthcare inquiries and direct patients to the appropriate medical care, ensuring that no one is left behind in the digital healthcare revolution. The ethical dilemma: trusting AI in life or death decisions. While the integration of AI in healthcare holds immense potential, it also raises significant ethical concerns, particularly regarding the role of AI in life or death decisions. With AI increasingly involved in diagnosing and recommending treatment plans, questions arise about how much trust should be placed in these systems. Can machines make decisions that impact human lives as accurately as doctors? How do we ensure that AI models are designed with enough transparency, accountability, and safeguards to prevent errors or bias? AI algorithms, although powerful, are still limited by the data they are trained on. If an AI system is fed biased or incomplete data, it could result in incorrect diagnoses or recommendations. Moreover, AI lacks the ability to apply emotional intelligence in healthcare, which is a crucial aspect of patient care. Many patients seek not only treatment, but also compassion, reassurance, and a human connection, qualities that AI cannot replicate. One example of the challenges in this area is the potential for algorithmic bias. AI models are trained on large data sets, but if these data sets don't fully represent the diversity of the population, the AI could develop biased results, leading to inaccurate or unequal healthcare delivery. In Saudi Arabia, for instance, if the data used to train AI systems is predominantly from Western countries or certain demographic groups, the AI might not perform as well for Saudi patients or those from different ethnic backgrounds. Additionally, the accountability of AI in healthcare decision-making is a concern. If an AI system makes a wrong diagnosis or a botched recommendation leads to a patient's harm, who is held responsible? Is it the healthcare provider who relied on the technology, the developers who created the AI, or the institution that implemented it? Determining liability in such scenarios will require clear legal frameworks and ethical guidelines to ensure that AI is used responsibly and that patients' rights are protected. Balancing efficiency and the human touch. Another major concern in the rise of AI-powered healthcare is maintaining the human touch that's so vital to the patient experience. While AI can increase efficiency, accuracy, and cost-effectiveness, healthcare isn't just about treating diseases. It's about caring for people. Many patients deeply value the empathy, communication, and personal connection they receive from their doctors and caregivers. The role of the doctor as a compassionate and reassuring presence during moments of vulnerability cannot be easily replaced by algorithms, no matter how advanced. As AI continues to transform healthcare, it'll be important to find a balance between technological innovation and the human elements of care. One potential approach is the concept of human-AI collaboration. Instead of replacing doctors and nurses, AI could be used to augment their abilities, helping healthcare professionals make better decisions, providing support in routine tasks, and allowing doctors to focus more on direct patient interaction. For example, AI could take over the time-consuming process of analyzing medical data, allowing doctors to spend more time with patients, explaining diagnoses, and offering emotional support. Moreover, AI's ability to reduce administrative tasks such as scheduling, paperwork, and data entry could give healthcare professionals more time to engage with patients on a personal level. This hybrid approach could ensure that while AI drives efficiency and accuracy, the human touch remains an integral part of the patient experience. As Saudi Arabia continues to integrate AI into its healthcare sector, the kingdom faces both immense opportunities and significant challenges. The rise of smart hospitals and AI-driven medical solutions promises to make healthcare more efficient, accessible, and precise. AI-powered diagnostics, robotic surgeries, and virtual health assistants hold the potential to transform the way healthcare is delivered, especially in underserved areas. However, ethical dilemmas regarding trust, bias, accountability, and the preservation of human connection must be carefully addressed. Striking the right balance between AI-driven efficiency and the emotional intelligence that patients require will be crucial. The future of AI in healthcare in Saudi Arabia will depend on how well these challenges are navigated and whether the kingdom can implement both technological advancements and human-centered care in harmony. In the coming years, as AI continues to evolve, Saudi Arabia's healthcare system may well become a model for the region and the world, demonstrating how technology can improve healthcare outcomes while respecting the intrinsic values of compassion, empathy, and patient-centered care. Challenges and ethical concerns. While AI promises efficiency and innovation, there are significant challenges. Job displacement is a major concern. Many traditional roles in transportation, finance, and even healthcare could be automated, leading to a shift in the labor market. Additionally, AI bias and data privacy are pressing issues, especially as Saudi Arabia collects vast amounts of personal data to optimize its smart cities and AI-driven services. Will AI systems be fair and unbiased, or will they reinforce societal inequalities? And how will Saudi Arabia ensure data security in an era where cyber threats are more dangerous than ever? Saudi Arabia's global AI ambitions. Beyond its borders, Saudi Arabia is looking to establish itself as a global leader in AI. The kingdom has already launched the Saudi Data and AI Authority to oversee AI governance and development. Partnerships with global tech giants like Google, Microsoft, and Huawei aim to accelerate AI adoption. Additionally, Saudi Arabia has invested billions in AI research, with plans to become a major player in the AI arms race.
إذا أمامنا أي فرصة سوف نعمل عليها، سواء كانت 10 فرص أو 100 فرصة أو 1000 فرصة أو 10,000 فرصة، ونطور قدراتنا البشرية ونطور قدرات الحكومة لتحقيق هذه الفرص بأسرع وقت ممكن. ومتى ما حققناها كلها سوف تفتح آفاق جديدة.
However, competing with AI powerhouses like the United States and China won't be easy. Saudi Arabia must prove it can develop homegrown AI innovations rather than just importing foreign technology.
And is this mostly about the rollout of AI applications that will help improve the quality and efficiency of people's lives?
So as Sadaya, we are having a mandate to build the whole ecosystem of that. So it doesn't mean that we'll do it by ourselves. We are partnering with hybrid scalers or hyperscalers like Microsoft, Google, even Amazon and Oracle.
The AI-driven future of Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia's technological revolution is one of the most ambitious in the world. If successful, the kingdom could redefine what's possible in urban living, healthcare, and business. However, with rapid AI integration comes uncertainty. How will society adapt to automation, and can the kingdom balance technological progress with ethical responsibility? The future of AI in Saudi Arabia is promising, but it's also filled with challenges that'll determine whether Vision 2030 is truly sustainable. Cultural transformation and human capital. One of the most transformative yet complex pillars of Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030 is its investment in cultural transformation and human capital development. While mega projects like Neom and the Red Sea Project capture global headlines, it's the reimagining of the nation's social fabric and human potential that'll ultimately determine the kingdom's success. This cultural evolution spans education reform, workforce empowerment, gender equality, and creative industries. Each of these elements represents a bold attempt to modernize Saudi Arabia while maintaining its core identity, a challenging balance that raises profound questions about the future. Education and workforce innovation. Vision 2030 places unprecedented emphasis on education as the foundation for sustainable economic growth. The kingdom is moving from an oil-based economy toward a diversified, knowledge-driven society. Central to this effort is a comprehensive overhaul of the education system, with a sharp focus on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Major partnerships with leading global institutions have been forged to develop specialized talent pipelines. For instance, institutions like King Abdullah University of Science and Technology and Princess Noura University, the world's largest women's university, reflect a commitment to building local expertise. However, transforming education goes beyond infrastructure and curricula. It demands a cultural shift in how learning is valued and pursued. Historically, the reliance on foreign labor in highly technical sectors has limited opportunities for local talent. A key question is whether Saudi Arabia's education reforms can bridge this gap fast enough to meet the skilled labor demands of its mega projects. Industries such as renewable energy, artificial intelligence, and robotics require highly specialized expertise, and creating a competitive domestic workforce in these fields will be a race against time. Saudi Arabia is investing in vocational training programs, scholarships, and leadership development initiatives, but will these efforts yield the necessary innovation mindset? The government is also turning to entrepreneurship as a catalyst for economic and social change. Through initiatives like Manshat, which supports small and medium enterprises, and MISC Foundation, a nonprofit focused on youth empowerment, Vision 2030 aims to foster a generation of entrepreneurs capable of driving technological and social innovation. But fostering a startup culture takes more than financial backing. It requires nurturing creativity, risk-taking, and failure tolerance. Qualities that must be cultivated within the broader culture. How will these cultural dynamics evolve in a nation where tradition and hierarchy have historically shaped decision-making processes? Cultural evolution and creative industries. Another transformative component of Vision 2030 is the development of creative industries. For decades, Saudi Arabia's cultural expression was largely limited by conservative norms and restrictive policies. However, the kingdom is now embracing art, film, music, and entertainment as vital elements of its economic and social landscape. High-profile events like Riyadh Season and the Red Sea International Film Festival are reshaping Saudi Arabia's cultural identity, attracting global talent and showcasing local creativity on the world stage. The government's investment in cultural infrastructure is staggering. Plans include building theaters, museums, and art galleries, creating spaces for artistic expression that simply didn't exist a decade ago. But beyond physical spaces, a thriving cultural scene requires freedom of expression and diverse voices. Will Saudi Arabia's emerging creative class have the autonomy to challenge societal norms, or will artistic expression remain constrained by government oversight? This tension between modernization and traditionalism will shape not only the cultural output of the kingdom, but also its global cultural influence. Vision 2030 also aims to increase tourism through its cultural and heritage offerings, from UNESCO World Heritage sites like Al Ula to futuristic entertainment hubs like Qiddiya. The goal is to position Saudi Arabia as a global cultural destination. But this will require navigating a fine line between welcoming international visitors and maintaining local cultural values. How will this delicate balancing act play out? Women's empowerment and gender equality. One of the most groundbreaking shifts under Vision 2030 is the push for gender equality. The lifting of the driving ban in 2018 was a symbolic first step, but the broader agenda is far more ambitious. The government aims to increase women's participation in the workforce from 22% to 30% by creating opportunities across sectors that were once closed to them. Women are now entering leadership roles in finance, technology, and public policy, with trailblazers like Sarah Al-Sahayemi, the first female chair of the Saudi Stock Exchange, becoming role models. However, real change requires more than legal reforms. It requires changing social attitudes and workplace cultures. In a society where gender segregation has been the norm, the integration of women into public and professional life is both a monumental shift and a potential flashpoint for cultural tension. Will the rapid pace of change be met with resistance from conservative elements? Or will younger generations embrace a more inclusive vision of society? Moreover, empowering women isn't just a matter of rights, it's a strategic economic necessity. Studies show that diverse workforces drive better business outcomes, and Saudi Arabia's ambitious projects will need every ounce of talent to succeed. The question remains, will the kingdom's efforts to empower women lead to lasting systemic change, or will progress be uneven and fragile? Legal reforms and symbolic milestones. One of the most iconic moments in Saudi Arabia's journey toward gender equality was the lifting of the driving ban in 2018, a decision that symbolized the government's commitment to women's rights. While the lifting of the ban represented a major milestone in the long fight for women's autonomy, it was only the beginning of a much broader, more ambitious agenda. The government has set a clear target to increase women's participation in the workforce from 22% to 30% by 2030. Achieving this goal involves not only removing legal barriers, but also creating opportunities across various sectors that were once closed to women, including finance, technology, and public policy. Women are increasingly assuming leadership roles in industries that have traditionally been male-dominated. A notable example is Sarah Al-Suhaimi, who became the first female chair of the Saudi Stock Exchange, a groundbreaking achievement that serves as an inspiration for many. The inclusion of women in such high-profile positions signals a significant shift in the kingdom's understanding of leadership and success. However, the pace of progress is not uniform across all sectors, and there are significant challenges ahead in terms of social integration, cultural acceptance, and systemic support. Cultural challenges and social attitudes. While legal reforms are crucial, they alone cannot guarantee long-term societal transformation. In Saudi Arabia, gender segregation has long been a deeply ingrained social norm, influencing everything from education and employment to social interactions. The integration of women into public and professional life represents not just a change in law, but also a monumental cultural shift. The challenge lies in whether this change will be embraced broadly by society, or if resistance from more conservative elements will hinder progress. There is a palpable tension between modernizing reforms and traditional values in Saudi Arabia. The rapid pace of change might be met with skepticism or resistance, especially from those who feel that the kingdom's cultural identity and social fabric could be compromised. Some may fear that the increasing visibility and participation of women in the workforce and public life could disrupt established gender roles. This cultural clash presents a delicate balancing act for the government, which must navigate these tensions while continuing to promote gender equality. On the other hand, younger generations, especially millennials and Generation Z, are more open to progressive ideas regarding gender roles and equality. These generations are more likely to embrace a more inclusive and diverse vision of society. The future success of these efforts may therefore depend largely on the extent to which younger people become influential in shaping public opinion and pushing for reforms that align with a more modern, globalized perspective. Women's empowerment as an economic imperative. Empowering women is not just a matter of securing basic human rights or achieving social justice, it is also a strategic economic necessity. The kingdom's ambitious Vision 2030 initiatives, which aim to diversify the economy and reduce dependence on oil, require tapping into every available source of talent. Studies have consistently shown that diverse teams lead to better business outcomes, greater innovation, and improved problem-solving capabilities. For Saudi Arabia to succeed in its goal of economic diversification, the full participation of women in the workforce is not only desirable, but essential. In key sectors such as finance, technology, education, and healthcare, women have proven themselves capable of driving progress and contributing significantly to the kingdom's development. However, systemic barriers such as gender-based wage gaps, lack of family support infrastructure, and limited access to leadership training remain. The government's efforts to address these challenges through legal reforms, investments in education and training, and the promotion of a more inclusive corporate culture are crucial for creating a level playing field where women can thrive professionally. While progress is undeniably being made, the question remains, will the kingdom's efforts to empower women lead to lasting systemic change? Or will progress be uneven and fragile? The answer likely depends on several factors, including the continued political will of the government, the evolving social attitudes of the public, and the active involvement of women in all sectors of society. If the right institutional, cultural, and economic supports are put in place, the advancements made in the past few years could set the stage for significant and lasting change in Saudi Arabia. However, this journey is far from straightforward. The push for gender equality could encounter setbacks, particularly if certain segments of society resist the changing role of women, or if the pace of reform outstrips the ability of the culture to adapt. Despite these challenges, the potential for lasting change remains high, particularly as women continue to break barriers, assume leadership roles, and challenge long-standing societal norms. If Vision 2030 is successful in creating a more inclusive society, it will not only benefit women, but will contribute to the broader economic and social advancement of Saudi Arabia as a whole. Ultimately, the drive for gender equality is not just about advancing the status of women in Saudi Arabia. It is about building a more inclusive, dynamic, and prosperous future for the kingdom. It is an ambitious vision that requires sustained effort, cultural change, and a commitment to breaking down barriers, both legal and social, that have held back half of the population for far too long. Whether this vision will be fully realized by 2030 will depend on the collective will of the people, the government, and the private sector to continue forging ahead on the path to true gender equality. Redefining identity in a globalized world. As Saudi Arabia modernizes, it faces the complex task of redefining its national identity. Traditionally, Saudi identity has been closely tied to religion, family, and tribal affiliations. Vision 2030 introduces a new narrative, one that embraces technological innovation, global connectivity, and cultural openness. But integrating these elements into a cohesive identity presents challenges. Can Saudi Arabia maintain its cultural authenticity while engaging in the global marketplace of ideas? Will a new generation raised in a more open society reconcile modern lifestyles with traditional values? These are profound existential questions that extend beyond economic ambitions. Ultimately, the cultural transformation driven by Vision 2030 will influence not only the kingdom, but also the broader Middle East, potentially serving as a model or a cautionary tale for other nations seeking modernization. So when you take a step back and look at all of these projects happening right now in Saudi Arabia, it's clear that they're not just building for today, they're building for tomorrow. It's a high-risk, high-reward situation, but the potential rewards are unlike anything we've ever seen before. The question is, will Saudi Arabia's bold plans succeed, or will they crash and burn under the weight of their ambition? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, the next decade is going to be filled with some of the most groundbreaking developments in the world, and Saudi Arabia is leading the charge. If you're curious to see how these projects unfold over the next few years, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any updates.